Hello, this is Stan Hustad. I just wanted to take a few minutes to share one of my favorite stories. It's become one of the signature stories that people have kind of expected from me, and so I'd like to share it with you at this Christmas holiday time. Years ago, there was a very popular television program in the United States of America, and I think it literally spread to other parts of the English-speaking world, and it was called Touched by an Angel. And the story was just that. There were people who were in difficulty, some pain or problem or something that had come into their lives which they could use some help. And what happened is that an angel, and there were a series of them who came and they would work with the people and help work things out. And then they'd reveal who they really were, that they were not just people on the street who happened to be there, but they truly had been sent by God, and they were one of the angelic helpers, messengers, persons to really be there with them. It was a very popular program, and I think I know the reason why. It's had something in it that we all would love to have, and that is to know something about the universe and some wisdom about our own experience that might be important. And what I discovered in a number of years ago in reading through the Christmas story again, in which there literally are 3 angel encounters in the story. And I just want to share briefly with you some of the insights that came to me. I talked about having some wisdom and insight, came to me, and it was actually given to me by somebody else who pointed this out in the way a man named J.B. Phillips many years ago did a modern translation of the Christian scriptures and then brought that forward, particularly in this one particular part of the story. In the Christmas story, the husband of the cousin of the Virgin Mary. Her name is Elizabeth, and she's married to a man named Zechariah, and he's hoping that he will be able to be a man of not only God's will, but to have a patrimony and have some of the things that he wants in life to come to him. And an angel actually comes to an old man and says, "Don't be afraid, Zechariah, because your prayers have been heard." Think about that. You've been listened to. The very God of the universe has heard your request, and you have been listened to. So don't be afraid. In the next one, it's very well known that supposedly the angel comes to the Virgin Mary, this young girl. We had an old man, now we have a young girl, and says, "Mary, don't be afraid. God loves you dearly. Don't be afraid, Mary. You are loved." What a wonderful message. Do you know that so many people do not know that they are loved by anybody, alone by the God of the universe? So Zechariah heard that his prayers, this old man, his prayers, his requests have been heard. This young girl, this young woman, discovers that she has been chosen for an extraordinary mission, and she is deeply and dearly loved. Then on the Christmas night story, the many carols, angels we have heard on high, the story of the shepherds who are out watching their flocks, keeping track of the livestock, and right in the middle of the night, angels come to them and say to them, "Guess what? Don't be afraid. Emmanuel, God is with you. God is with us. We are not alone." Think about those 3 messages. And they all begin with, "Don't be afraid." Truly, as I've lived and learned and pointed out to many of you, fear kills everything. Think what our lives could be like if we could live with less fear, a lot less fear. What if we could actually be almost fearless in our life? Don't be afraid. And first of all, we know we have been heard, we have been listened to, that we are loved and valued and cherished and appreciated, and that God is truly with us. So don't be afraid, because no matter what, you are not alone. Christmas is truly a celebration, but it also is a story of deep, deep darkness, and some terrible things happened before and after. It was not a pretty story and not a pretty scene, but in the midst of it all, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Your prayers and requests have been heard. You are deeply and dearly loved. And don't be afraid, because you are not alone. My hope is at this Christmas time that little story of what it might be like to be touched and talked to and taught and loved by an angel will be your experience at this Christmas time. All the best and blessings to you.